Yes.
So I mean, you know, man, I like to get into kind of doing an exclusive drop with the Brands Experts podcast. Man, maybe we can collab on something. Man, what you
Yeah,
think
and
about
that's
that?
something that we can always work on.
Okay.
Collaboration is good
Yeah.
as long as both, we both do it,
Yeah.
and we come to an agreement on what the end product is going to look like.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, collaboration is always a good thing.
Yeah. For sure it is. So kind of looking at it, it looks great. Is there anything? Because I see you got the right here the
The
drawstrings are
drawstrings,
braided. So
yeah,
that's
that's I hook up with people in the industry.
yeah.
We didn't print these, and
Okay.
and I have a print shop, but we didn't print these. My boy Sergio printed these for Iron Roots,
Okay.
and then my girl Erica, Lil Eden Boutique, she did this for us, and she did the little hit on the embroidery.
Wow.
So it was just something we wanted to do.
Right.
Again, like collaborating with other
Hmm.
companies.
Yeah.
Because as much as this is a rumors hoodie, it's they're part of it because they collaborated with me on it.
Yeah. Man, that's dope. Kind of seeing something high end and actually being a part of this Antelope Valley community when in Lancaster, California, by the way. So to see something like that here in the Antelope Valley is just dope. And you could have built your brand up anywhere you wanted. You didn't have to do this here.
Right.
You could have said, "Hey, we're gonna open up shop in Los Angeles, Orange County, San Diego." We're not that far from other larger cities. But the fact that you wanted to root out here, provide jobs and opportunities in the Antelope Valley, Ness, I want to thank you for that.
Yeah,
Because
no problem. Now, I mean, the thing is, like, this is where I grew up, so it just made sense for me to do it from here. So a lot of times people do think I'm from LA,
yeah,
or they think I'm from Chicago because I do a lot of Jordan stuff.
is that your favorite player?
Always,
Okay,
yeah, he's the goat.
okay, okay,
But yeah, this is where I grew up, so it
okay.
just, I'm putting the AV on the map per se,
There we
like
go.
and I love it. Like I wouldn't I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
All right, I'm Experts Doing. We're in another Brands Experts podcast. Great guest right here, Ness from Retro Kings.
That's right.
He has a complete streetwear brand. It's crazy, a lot of exclusive drops, a lot of great things that he does with the brand. So we'll let him formally introduce himself and let you know exactly what his brand does and what he does inside of the brand.
Yo, what's good? My name is Ness. Like mentioned, I run Retro Kings. Founded in 2014. I've had previous brands before that,
Okay,
but this brand is almost 10 years old.
okay. That's
Uh,
crazy. All right.
oh,
No,
shit.
no, cool. So what industry is your brand in?
We're a streetwear brand,
Okay,
so
gotcha.
we are big into basketball, hip hop, current
Okay,
events,
yeah,
movies, and everything old school, everything in the '80s, everything in the '90s.
okay,
So that's where I get my inspiration from.
for sure.
Yeah,
And then we see you got the fly hoodie on right around St. Patrick's Day for
yeah.
anybody.
This is a new project we're working on.
Okay,
Something aside from Retro Kings.
okay,
It's going to be a lot more exclusive. Retro Kings. I want everybody in Retro Kings.
all right,
Um, you know, that's why my price points are where they at. But something like this is going to be a lot more exclusive.
okay, for sure. So I see you got one with you. If we can kind of get into the creative a little bit of the project.
Yeah. So this year, I'm starting to do hoodies. A hoodie every month. Uh, and this one here is the first hoodie we did for Rumors. It's a new brand that I'm dropping, and it was just an idea, that I wanted to do something for St. Patrick's Day,
Yeah.
and yeah, we got them. We got them printed, and they're ready to go.
Man, it's fly. So I see the what is this called? This right here. This is
I would
the
call it an angel.
angel. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it was just crazy. It's a crazy idea how this came about. Um, I was just listening to music, and I've always wanted an exclusive brand um, with Retro Kings. It's kind of exclusive, but I'm trying to get it out there. With this one, it was a little bit different, and I had Sirius on, and the Rumor song came on, and it just stuck in my brain, and I just went to work. Like it was that quick,
Okay.
you know.
So did this happen like 2020, 2022? Was
No,
this
this
when?
just happened, a few months ago. To
Wow.
be
Okay.
honest, yeah,
Okay.
like, and that's the beauty about being inspired. Um, you can create, like, I'm a creator.
Yeah.
When I'm inspired, I can create a collection in no time,
Right.
and that's what I did with this. I I knew exactly what I wanted,
Okay.
and I went and did it. So it didn't take me long.
Okay.
Um,
So let me see. Was that a song? Because I know the song's been out for a few years.
yep.
Was that a song you always liked, kind of naturally? Like when?
No, no,
No.
it was just something that came on.
Okay.
I've heard it before.
Yeah.
Uh, I just I never really thought about it, but it just that day, that particular day, it just stuck with me,
For
and
sure.
yeah, I went to work.
Okay. So with it being exclusive, like, so is it gonna be like some, like, are you gonna do T-shirts, joggers? Is there different things you're gonna do? Or are you more only focused on hoodies?
No, I'm gonna focus on t-shirts.
Okay.
T-shirt is my bread and butter.
Okay.
The t-shirt's never gonna go out of style.
All right.
So I'm gonna focus mainly on that.
With rumors.
Yeah, with rumors.
Okay. Okay.
Um, Price point's gonna be a lot different than my Retro Kings,
Okay.
um, but it's because it's gonna be exclusive.
Okay.
So it's a higher end T-shirt.
Okay.
So everything's gonna be higher end.
Yeah.
And these hoodies, this is just a monthly project.
Okay.
Ideas that pop in my brain, something that I want to do, and these are like really, really exclusive.
Okay.
I think for this one we did close to 60 of them.
Okay.
So 60 people are gonna have them, and that's it. Like, I'm not doing any more, and then we'll be dropping another one, next month, and the same thing. It's gonna be anywhere from 50 to 100,
Okay.
and after that, it's just never gonna get printed again.
Cool. So every drop, like as far as the hoodies go, that's like exclusive projects.
Yes.
So I mean, man, I like to get into kind of doing an exclusive drop with the Brands Experts podcast. Man, maybe we can collab on something. Man, what you
Yeah,
think
and
about
that's
that?
something that we can always work on.
Okay.
Collaboration is good,
Yeah.
as long as both, we both do it,
Yeah.
and we come to an agreement on what the end product is going to look like.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, collaboration is always a good thing.
Yeah. For sure it is. So kind of looking at it, it looks great. Is there anything? Because I see you got the right here the
The
drawstrings are
drawstrings,
braided.
yeah,
So
that's I hook up with people in the industry.
yeah.
We didn't print these, and
Okay.
I have a print shop, but we didn't print these. My boy Sergio printed these from Iron Roots,
Okay.
and then my girl Erica, Little Eden Boutique, she did this for us, and she did the little hit on the embroidery.
Wow.
So it was just something we wanted to do.
Right.
Again, like, collaborating with other
Hmm.
companies.
Yeah.
Because as much as this is a Rumors hoodie, it's they're part of it because they collaborated with me on it.
Yeah. Man, that's dope. Kind of seeing something high end and actually being a part of this Antelope Valley community. We in Lancaster, California, by the way. So to see something like that here in the Antelope Valley is just dope. And you know, you could have built your brand up anywhere you wanted. You didn't have to do this here.
Right.
You could have said, "Hey, we're gonna open up shop in Los Angeles, Orange County, San Diego." You know, you know, we're not that far from other larger cities. But the fact that you wanted to root out here, provide jobs and opportunities in the Antelope Valley, Ness, I want to thank you for that.
Yeah,
Because
no problem. And I mean, the thing is, like, this is where I grew up, so it just made sense for me to do it from here. So a lot of times people do think I'm from LA,
yeah,
or they think I'm from Chicago because I do a lot of Jordan stuff. You know,
is that your favorite player?
always,
Okay,
yeah, he's the goat.
okay, okay,
But yeah, this is where I grew up. So it
okay.
just, I'm putting the AV on the map per se.
There we
Like
go.
and I love it. Like I wouldn't I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
For sure,
Yeah,
man. That like feel so glad to hear that because a lot of people have different feelings about the Antelope Valley, you know, for different reasons.
right.
But the fact that you take a pride in it and representing it well, and building brands here, providing jobs here, providing opportunities here, and just you know, it's just such a blessing. So thank you for that. Thank you for what you're doing in San Luis Valley, and thank you for making exclusive drops like the Rumors St. Patrick's Day 2023 hoodie. Is it called something else in particular, or
No, that's exactly what it's called.
okay,
What you just said.
okay,
But yeah, every month, in the summertime, we're probably gonna end up doing T-shirts.
okay?
Um,
You know,
like an exclusive T-shirt,
okay.
and then
You
you
know
know,
something though, and this is just me thinking, right? Something you could do is have a pack with the t-shirt and the hoodie because it is going to get cold again. And so like different iconic things and ideas happen in the summer. So we'll be having that summer flavor in the winter. Like, oh dang, you got this one on that was like 4th of July with the hoodie, or it's like it kind of could still tie in, like just for the people that want to go above and beyond.
right. Yeah, and I mean that's a good idea, and
Yeah,
we've I thought about that.
yeah,
I just know if they're gonna pay a price for an exclusive drop, they're gonna
yeah.
want to wear it.
That's true. But
Or either that or they're gonna want to collect it.
true,
You
but
know.
and you also got to remember some places in the summertime is still kind of cold, depending on where you at.
Yeah.
Alaska, different places. Because some people I know, people in my family, they do the fishing boats out there. So it's cold all the time. It's wet, different stuff.
Yeah, and
And
we don't really think about that
yeah,
because here in the desert,
yeah,
when it gets hot, it gets hot.
yeah.
So
And like I do software contracting sometimes. Sometimes like in the stores, right? When people work in stores, the freezer area is cold, like behind where the milk is. So at work they like had their hoodies on,
right,
but it's like it's because they got to do that, or they got to go on the reefer trucks, like you know the like 18 wheelers, but they do produce, so they got like it's cool back there.
right.
So it's different situations, you know.
Yeah, we're thinking about doing, also like a lighter weight hoodie.
Okay. Yeah.
So when you're out and about and starts getting dark, it does get a little chilly. So you could throw it on, and it's
Yeah.
not gonna be, it's not gonna be warm.
Yeah.
It's gonna keep you warm, but it's lightweight.
That's
You
dope,
know.
man.
So
So.
yeah, there's different.
Mhm.
We're still, this is like I said, this is really new. We did a Valentine's hoodie
Yeah.
that did really well, and then now we got the St. Patty's one, and it's still cold out here, so
Yeah.
it works. But as we move into the summer, then we're gonna either go the t-shirt route or we're gonna go a lighter hoodie.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay. No, for
so
sure. So hey, there's different things that come up every month. We got Easter coming up. We got the June is a graduation month. We know how that goes.
yeah,
4th of July. It's all kind of
there's
different.
always something.
Always
There's
something,
always
man.
something. Yeah.
You
So
know.
it's just a matter of being ahead of the curve,
Okay.
um, designing, being inspired to design, and that's another thing. As a designer, a lot of times, you know, especially with current events, something happens today, we get inspired and we create it for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Um, Stuff like this, we have to look ahead and we have to figure out a way to get inspired for the months ahead.
Yeah.
So it's sometimes it is challenging, but you just got to get in your zone and just be creative.
You getting it done. So really appreciate that. And yeah, man, that's a fly piece right there. Can't wait to rock mine. Cause gotta support. Make sure you support. So I'm one of the how many were ordered?
In this one, we did a little over 50.
So I'm one of the 50. So that's gonna stand forever. Can't nobody take that from me.
Right, and this is never going to be printed again. So yeah, you're one of the 50 plus that have it,
There we go. Exclusive, man. I'm so glad to be part of that family.
no doubt.
Okay. So what we like to do with our experts that we have on the podcast is get to know them a little bit. Let us know where you're from, what your upbringing was like, and what got you into the streetwear industry.
Uh, I'm originally from El Salvador. I'm
Oh, I didn't know
Salvadorian, so I
that.
was
Okay.
born there. Came here when I was 3. Grew up in L.A. down by Staples. Um, I really I got into breakdancing. That was my first
Okay.
like love into the culture.
Yeah.
Breakdancing, then the Pumas with the suits. Um, but in 85, 85, 86, that's when my love for Nike and Jordan. That's when it started.
Okay.
Back then, our weekend trips were to swap meets, indoor swap meets,
Yeah.
outdoor swap meets. And I remember, 85, I was 11. Um, I remember going we went into an indoor swap meet
Hmm.
and they had the Jordan 1s,
Yeah.
the black and red Jordan 1s.
Hmm.
And man, since that day, like I wanted those shoes
Okay.
bad. And I didn't get them. I was only 11. And, I think at the time, they were $65,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's crazy. It's like I'm used to buying. My parents are used to buying me shoes that are like $15,
Right.
so 65 was a lot.
Right.
But I think that's where it started. That's where my love for basketball started. That's where my love for sneakers
Hmm.
started,
Yeah.
and then eventually, the whole sneaker thing turned into streetwear.
Yeah.
Just me wanting to design something to match my shoes.
Okay.
Um, so as I mean, through high school, I always drew. Back then, there really wasn't any computers, any machinery like this.
Right.
So it was all by hand.
Right.
Um, but as with the times, you just got to get with them. So
Right.
so I learned the programs. I learned to design, and then before you know it, I ended up buying a machine, and then one turned into two, two turned into three, and here we are. So yeah, it's been a process.
Okay.
It's been a 20+ year process for me.
Wow. Yeah.
But this is like, for me, this is where I could come in and it doesn't feel like work,
Hmm.
and it's not work to me. I could be here all day,
Yeah.
and it's not work.
You're doing
Um,
what you love to do,
that's
and
right.
I feel like that's something that's very underrated because we don't know how long we have. Like, how old was Kobe when he passed? What age? I think 42, something like that. So no one thought that nothing like that would happen, but it's
Right.
people, Kobe, Nipsey, a lot of different people, Pop Smoke, Triple X, that we thought, okay, they're at their prime,
Right.
and that's it. So the fact that you're doing what you love, that's the best way to live. All right, so we back. We don't go out like that. We keep going.
Let's go.
So Ness right here was going over kind of his creative growing up, kind of what that was like, his creative side.
Yeah. So I mean, it was just me wanting to do it and then actually doing it,
Okay.
but doing it on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell a lot of the youngsters now.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Um, my biggest thing, that I like to bring up is, first of all, you gotta, only because you think this is cool, you gotta make sure that this is what you love to do.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you're gonna end up quitting. Um, and then if you do say you love it, then you're gonna have to show that you love it every single day.
Every day.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's what I did. I wanted to create a brand and I wanted to stand out. So I had to do my research. I had to sit in front of a computer. I had to do all of that. I had to, learn how to design. I didn't take any classes anywhere. I learned on my own. Um, and it was trial and error, a lot of it, little by little, just learning how the programs work,
Yeah.
and then also what works for my customer base. What works for them, what doesn't,
Yeah.
and what it is that they want.
Yeah.
So, but that's like something that you have to do on a daily
No, for
basis.
sure. Yeah, we was getting into. Hit me like if it was over for you. No one thinks like that, but no one like if things weren't going to work out for you as far as living, you were saying like you was okay with doing what you love to do while
Right.
you were
Yeah.
here.
Like for me, if I was getting ready to take my last breath, at least I know I accomplished something with this. I could leave this to them, to my son, to my family, you know, um, and I can go knowing that I created this,
Yeah,
and it was something that I wanted to create,
yeah,
you know.
for sure.
So yeah, and it's just like you said, like Nipsey, like he created something,
Yeah, yeah,
so he knew he built it, and he can go knowing that he left that legacy behind,
all right. That's really
you know.
big. That's really big. So Ness, what is your position at Retro Kings? Are you the CEO of the brand?
Yeah, we're a corporation.
Okay,
I'm the president,
okay,
uh, but I'm also an employee of the business. So every week, I get a paycheck. But
okay,
but yeah, on paper, I'm the president of the company.
okay.
Mhm.
For sure, for sure. And that is great to be a leader that's actually, stepping in with leadership, not just like kind of, speaking orders, but actually coming in and being a part of the creative and actually being a part of kind of like, building your team up.
Right, and I try to stay on the creative side
Yeah.
more. I got Eve doing production.
Shout out to
I
Eve.
got Mursi doing production also.
What's his name?
We call him Mursi.
Morsi. Shout out to
Yeah,
Morsi.
yeah.
Okay.
So um, they're the ones that are really putting in the work
Yeah.
to get all this stuff out.
Right.
I come in just in case they have questions, or I come in to just try to be creative
Yeah.
for future drops.
Right.
And that's another thing that's super important. And I found out you just can't do everything yourself.
Nope.
You have to put trust in people. You
Yeah.
got to put trust in people that they're going to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Um, and you just let them go to work. You
Yeah.
let them go to work, and I can do what I'm supposed to do.
For sure. No,
You
that's
know,
big and that's powerful that you actually are putting people in position to, do things and growing your brand to that level. You know what
right?
I'm saying? To where you have a full service shop where you have your printers, your computers. Now, there's another side of the shop. We're gonna get to that in future episodes. Like we want to do episode with rumors, kind of get deep dive into that brand, ideas, a creative, kind of when it started, kind of those kind of things.
All right.
You know, there's a lot going on right here. And my first time coming, I appreciated all of it because to actually get inside a shop and see everything that goes on. But there's palm trees on the wall. There's custom paint. There's build out booths, offices, vault. So much special pieces.
Right. Yeah, and coming in, I mean, this was an open box, so you have to be creative. This, in my industry, you have to stay creative.
Yeah.
So when it was time to build it out, there was a vision for it to where we walk in here and we feel like we want to be in here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why we got the palm trees, we got the neon signs, we got the flooring. I mean everything that you see in here
Yeah.
was custom built, to our specs, like what we needed.
Yeah.
Um, but at the end of the day, when we walk in here, it allows us to be productive.
For
You know,
sure. No, for sure. And that's real special. And another thing, with you having kids, for them to actually see this and be a part of, I don't know if they actually come help or kind of see what's going on.
uh,
But,
they do when school's out,
okay.
especially my son. You know, I mean, we're all entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
You know, my wife has her store.
Yeah.
My son has his own brand. My
Wow.
daughter does flowers. So we're all always doing something.
Hmm.
But again, like this is something that I wanted to build. So yeah, the day that I go, I can leave this behind for them
Right.
to take over if that's what they want to do.
All right.
You
No,
know.
for sure that's big
So
because it outlives you, right? If you think about Walt Disney, he created that intellectual property, he turned it into something.
right,
Like he'd be proud, like what he left for his family. Like now they can Disneyland's a global brand. I mean Disney's a global brand, movies, everything else.
right,
But he built that in his head, and then he put. So that's what's so crazy about whenever we sit down with a brand expert, this was all in your head first. Like Retro Kings, the designs, all the stuff that we see was somewhere in there, and you started putting it out there, your intellectual property.
right. And it's again, it's a process, like little by little. Like it's not. This is not gonna happen overnight.
Yeah.
You put in the work, and when I started it, yeah, I did everything. I designed, I printed, I shipped. I took stuff to the post office. Like I did everything. But as the brand grows, you bring people in to help
Yeah.
because one thing I learned is as you're growing and you try to do everything yourself, you're gonna end up hating it. You're gonna
That's
end
true.
up hating everything about it.
Yeah.
So as the brand got bigger, you know, we ended up just bringing people in to help,
Okay. Yeah.
and this way it allows me to stay creative.
For sure. So that is good that you brought people in because some people really struggle with that piece of it because it kind of
You
doing
gotta learn.
everything.
You gotta
Yeah.
learn how to trust people.
Yeah, that's
In
big.
business, you have to. Um,
That's a big thing.
and I've been burned before, but it hasn't stopped me from doing it. Like
No,
it's just it's part of doing business.
it's true. Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel like every level you get to, there's gonna be challenges. That's just a part. It's like the game. I don't know if you play video games at all,
I really
but
don't.
have you like the
I have,
ones?
but uh, something with video games. It just takes too
That's
much of my
time.
time.
Yeah,
And I'm just so busy. It's just for me,
yeah,
it's not something I want to sit in front of a console and just play video
yeah.
games.
It's too time consuming, and then it's like I look
Hmm.
at it like like I used to be big on NBA 2K, like big hours every day. But it's like once you get to playing online, it's like a rabbit hole. Like you don't like you're playing people in Tennessee and Texas and New
Right,
York, and like this person's he beat me. Let's play again. So
right,
that took 2 3 hours. Like and now I'm spending 30, 40, 50, 80 hours a week, and it's like what's the return?
right.
Either I'm trying to be the best in the world or I'm just playing around.
And that's the thing. Like the chances of you being the best in the world, you're really gonna have to put in that time.
Yeah,
You know, so for the most part, everybody's doing it for leisure.
yeah, that's
Everybody's doing
true.
it to kill time, and
All right, yeah,
and I just don't have it.
that's
I just
true.
don't have the time.
You honest, Ness. Appreciate you for that. All right. So let's get into the next piece. Who were two experts that helped you become or two mentors that helped you become an expert in the streetwear industry?
Not necessarily in the streetwear industry, but as far as mentors, I still have a full time job.
Okay.
So for people, that say they work and then this is going to be difficult for them you know, to accomplish.
Yeah.
I'm here to say you can accomplish it because I'm already living proof that I can do it,
Yeah.
and I'm doing it still.
Is this something that you want to do full time? Is that the goal?
I have before.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done it before.
Okay.
And yeah, in a perfect world, yeah, I would love to be here at 6 in the morning, leave at 6 at night, in
Yeah.
the evening. Um, but I do have a full time job,
Okay.
and it's a family owned business,
Wow. Okay.
and I've been there a total of like a combined, 23 years.
Wow. That's
Um,
crazy.
yeah, for me, loyalty's really big. And I've been loyal to that company, and they've been loyal to me, and they've really helped me out. Um, but the owner of that company, and I'll never forget one time he told me like, I'm gonna, always stick to your bread and butter. And that's why, if you notice, I really don't print outside of T-shirts. This is something exclusive, so this is totally separate. But if you look on my website, if you've ever known me,
Yeah.
I've only printed T-shirts, and I stick to my bread and butter.
Okay.
Because that what he told me way back when always stuck in my brain,
Okay.
and it made sense because I saw it in his industry. You know, he said I could go over here and buy this machine, or I could go over here and buy this other machine, and I could go over there and buy this machine. But I have all these machines here that I'm an expert at. If I buy this new one, I'm gonna have to learn how to use this new one. And what am I doing? I'm putting all my effort into this.
Right.
I'm letting go of my bread and butter over here.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and it's the same thing. A lot of people, they say, why don't you get into, cut and sew?
Okay.
Well, I could, but it's going to take me away from,
Bread and butter. Yeah.
my bread and butter. So, he was one of my mentors,
Okay.
and to this day he still is. And and then in streetwear, there really wasn't anybody. It was
Okay.
just,
And it can also be somebody like in your family too, somebody you looked up to, even just somebody that like.
yeah. I mean, my family, my parents were both entrepreneurs.
Okay,
My
that's
dad
what's
was a
up.
photographer. My mom had a store, like a little,
Wow.
baby store, and she had it for over 25 years.
Wow.
So yeah, like when it comes down to that, like yeah, I look at them and they were inspiring because they 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 were able to hold, throughout the years, they were able to continue with their business. Um, so mentorship, and then inspiration, just seeing them,
Yeah.
um, allowed me to continue here with my own stuff.
Wow. So shout out to his parents. Shout out to who was
My
it that
boss,
your boss
yeah,
at where you work at?
yeah.
Just because it's these moments and these memories that kind of help shape us to where we're trying to go and things we're trying to do. So if you look forward and you're like, helping uh, whoever it may be, let's say Lexus design an interior for like a classic look, and you're doing that because you've shown that you have the design ability, and you're showing you're very artistic. You kind of remember like these things these people told you because you were noticed by Lexus because you stuck with your bread and butter. They said, well, hey, we're trying to design something over here, or a player is like wants to do something, a collab comes up,
Hmm.
and you'll just remember these times like, man, these people really inspired me and pushed me, and it led to where I'm at.
And
So
you can always apply. It doesn't have to be the same industry.
yeah.
You can always apply business tactics that you see here,
Hmm.
and then apply them to your own business.
That's right. That's true.
And that's I try to do that, and to this day I try to do that. And I feel like that's why I've been able to stay relevant,
Hmm.
and still have my brand 10 years
Yeah.
deep,
Yeah.
um, and even more so, with my previous brands.
Yeah.
So I'm still here, but it's that mentality of never giving up,
Hmm.
always learning,
Yeah.
and then staying ahead of the curve, and then always creating.
Yeah. Hmm.
Because there's, especially in streetwear now, there's so much competition.
Right. No, for
You
sure
know.
there is so many different brands out there, but yours is unique. Love the style, the artisticness, kind of when you're on top of things. There's a couple of pieces that I want to get that you've done, or like you stay on top of it. So I got to get it. LeBron just did his thing. You got a slick piece with. I want to get that one. Scoring record, big.
Yeah, yeah.
So I, just ones like that where it's really
And
close with
that's what
me.
it is. Like you have to whatever niche you're in, um, you have to stay on top of it.
Right.
Uh, you know, like who's on top right now in the NBA, so I got to stay on top of that.
Yeah, it's true.
What movies are popping off right now that that I can apply to my design work.
Okay.
You know, what TV shows, whatever it is, like whatever niche I'm in, what sneakers are coming out, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, and whatever niche you're in, you have to be on top. You have to be quick, and you have to be creative, and you have to stay on top because the competition is right behind you.
It's fierce.
Yeah,
Never lets up.
and they don't. Yeah,
Yeah, Jay-Z got in one of J. Cole's albums. He talks about like somebody eating some cereal. He's trying to get his spot. He said, but he's gonna sign him though. Like
right.
and he was talking about J. Cole.
Yeah,
And so it's kind of crazy how that kind of all came full circle.
right,
And now J. Cole's like, one of the top hip hop artists. But like
right.
Jay-Z had the eye to say, no, I see what you're doing. I got you.
Hmm.
So it's crazy how that works. Exactly what you said.
Yeah,
You know,
that's exactly how it is.
right. Okay. What was a moment when you knew you wanted to have your own streetwear brand?
When I bought a pair of Jordans and I couldn't find a matching T-shirt for it that I liked,
Okay.
uh, that did it for me. Uh, at the time, I had people who had print shops, and I said I'm gonna create my own shirt,
Yeah.
and that's what I did. I created my own T-shirt to match the shoes that I had just bought,
Yeah.
and then that's how it snowballed. That's how it started.
Do you remember what Jordans they were?
No, I'm not sure which ones they were at this
Okay.
point. Yeah, I don't know if maybe they were the sixes. Maybe
Okay.
I don't remember at the top of my head right now.
Cool. What is your favorite pair of J's?
The ones.
The ones.
Yeah, I have a pair. I have a pair stashed away, a black and red ones. They haven't been used,
Okay.
and the day I die, those things are going on my feet.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, that's my favorite shoe of all time.
Do you have
Jordan.
do you have another number outside the ones that you kind of like?
My favorites, yeah, the 1, the 3, the 4, and the 6.
1, 3, 4, 6. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, I got a pair of Lakers sixes. I need to get some more because they kind of I wore them a lot, but I need to get some more
Yeah,
because you know they're dope, man. Love them. Love those and the eights too. I really love the eights. How they got
the one with the straps.
yeah, man. I remember I was in high school. The chrome ones came out. This was 2005 or six. Man, the suede on there. I believe they came out again, maybe in the countdown
Yeah,
pack
they
or something
retro
like
them
that.
again. Hmm.
But man, they were fly when they came out, man. I don't know if you remember around them time when they came out, but
Yeah,
man,
yeah. I mean,
fly.
I grew up, watching Jordan. So I grew up every single year
Getting the
looking
J's.
at all these shoes that Tinker Hatfield was creating.
Yeah.
And it was just, man, it was beautiful. It was just one of
Yeah.
those things. Like Jordans were. That's the thing. Jordan, Tinker, the Jordan brand, Nike. They all were ahead of the curve, and
It's true.
they stayed being creative.
You know something crazy too is were you into the NBA at that time? Were you watching like the finals and
Oh yeah,
it's crazy when you look at some of the iconic moments like when he was at his peak in the playoffs when he was playing Phoenix. The highest playoff scoring average is crazy, and just scoring. But man, like if you kind of looking at it, and then you like look at the shoes, it kind of puts you back in that moment.
and I think you know for the culture,
Yeah,
like if it wasn't for Jordan, I don't even know if any of this would exist at
wow.
this level. For sure, not at this level.
Yeah,
Um, Jordan has done so much for the culture, that everybody behind him, Kobe, LeBron, all these guys, John Morant now, like, you know, if it wasn't for Jordan, I don't even know where, first of all, like how popular basketball would be,
that's true. Yeah,
and then how the whole, you know, the whole culture would be.
yeah,
Uh, because he changed it all.
yeah,
He got the longer shorts.
it's true.
He had the different shoes, the
Yeah,
different color shoes that he got in trouble for.
yeah,
The gold chains, the
yeah,
earring, like
yeah,
everything, the tongue stick, everything about Jordan created what we see now,
yeah.
which is this culture.
That's true.
You
That's why
know,
LeBron said that's why he wore 23. It's,
yeah, and I mean a lot of it. I wore 23 in high school
okay,
because of Jordan.
that's crazy.
And a lot of my like 23 every wherever I go and I see 23, it's all automatic. MJ.
Hits like that.
You know.
That's what's up.
But yeah, I mean, Jordan did and has done so much for the culture that you know we don't even think about, but
Yeah,
he did.
he did. You're
You
right.
know.
You're right. Switching sports, one of the first athletes to do that. Just so much stuff. It's incredible.
Hmm.
We want to get into a little bit of the history of the brand. What year was the brand launched?
Retro Kings was launched in 2014,
Okay.
January 25th.
Wow.
50 years exact to the date that Nike was, was first
Okay.
introduced, and I
What?
did that on purpose.
Okay.
You know, so yeah, we've been around almost 10 years,
Okay.
uh, and thousands of designs later, here we are.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So he stayed down through the hard times. If you think that this was just one of these, nope. Stayed down through the hard times. Stayed
Right.
down through figuring out, getting his own spot, being creative, whatever ups and downs. So the thing I want to tell you is, if it's hard, stick with it. Don't give up when it's hard, because that's the easiest thing to do. But you got to remember, what's the easiest thing to do is usually what's like not gonna fulfill you. It's what's you passionate about. Keep going long term, because it's worth it. Like, it's no feeling like it, because this is the first 10 years. Imagine what Retro Kings is gonna do in the next 10 years. But if you'd have stopped in the first 10, you never get to the special part.
Right. And when my previous brand was called Freshness, uh, that's exactly what it was. It was a roller coaster ride, and even this Retro Kings is a roller coaster ride.
Yeah,
Um, but it's still, you just have to be able to maintain.
yeah,
Um, the days when you're up here, it feels really good. The days when you're down here, you're you're down and you want to quit. Um, you just have to learn how to balance both
right.
and be able to coast.
Be solid. Yeah,
You know,
it's hard.
but it's really hard. It's not easy,
Nope,
um,
nope,
and nothing really that's worth it comes easy.
nope.
You
It's
just got
true.
to put in the work.
That's
You
true.
know,
Because if it did, it wouldn't feel special. It wouldn't feel
but
as
not only
special.
that, if it was simple, I mean, there's enough competition. If it was simple, can you imagine how many other people would be doing it?
Yeah, it wouldn't
You
hold
know,
as much value, because
right,
it would just be a dime a dozen. It's like working out. I see you into boxing and doing different things, but it's like staying in shape. It's no joke, but it's worth it. If you feel better,
right,
your mind runs better, you sleep better. But staying in shape is no joke, because those.
and it's the same thing.
Yeah, yeah,
You put in the work, you're gonna see the results, and you're not
absolutely.
gonna see them overnight.
Nope.
Um, it's a long road, and you just got to be able to do it.
For sure. So what we're gonna get into next is some really cool, parts we love about these interviews. Is the idea behind the name of the brand, what makes Retro Kings unique, and what was the toughest thing that Retro Kings had to overcome, and what did they learn from that will help them in the future. So stay tuned. That's coming right next. Stay locked in. Okay, we right here. Next, Retro King, get into the last piece of this. Like, just thank him for letting us tap in.
Yeah, no
Um,
doubt.
you know,
Anytime.
come to the shop. This is whenever we get to come here. It's special. We really love the shop and what they got going on right here. Uh, Meet with somebody as genuine as Ness, as solid as Ness. These people don't come around every day, so just cherish every moment with great people, because there's not a lot of them out there. Trust me. So when you got a chance to build a solid relationship with good people, do it, man. Let them know you appreciate them, and you do all that, man. However you can support what they got going, do it. It's worth it. Trust me, for real. So what we're gonna get into is, what was the idea behind the name of the brand, Retro King?
Uh, I still remember, like, after Freshness, um, I took a big hit, and like how we were talking about being up here, then being down here.
You want to talk about that at all, or?
Um, We could talk a little bit about it. It's
Okay.
a sour spot for me
Okay.
because I built that brand just like I built Retro Kings from the ground up.
Right.
Um, and I ended up partnering up with someone, and things didn't go as planned. And that usually happens, when uh, you know I have my way of thinking, you have your way of thinking,
Yeah. Yeah.
and if we don't meet in the middle, then things are not going to work out. Um, Freshness was everywhere. Like freshness was huge. 7 figures. We hit 7 figures.
In sales.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is how crazy it is. You know, 2000, 2011, we hit that. 2012, um, partnership is going this way. 2013, everything goes away. Right.
Whoa. That fast. Wow.
So we went from being way up here to me feeling like I'm way down here, you know? Um, but I knew I didn't want to give up. This is what I love to do,
What you
right?
love.
So
Yeah.
so you learn from those mistakes. And I said, okay, I'm gonna create a new brand,
Yeah.
and I'm not bringing in any investors. I'm not bringing in any partners. I'm not gonna do none of that. And yeah, I think I was just sitting there like, what am I about? Like, what am I into? You know, and you know, this whole time it's always been about the retros. You know, the OGs. You know, from '85 on. But all the kids coming up, they weren't able to, you know, get their hands on the original. So it was all about the retros,
Right.
and that was at the time. It was the majority of my business was T-shirts to match these retro Jordans.
Right.
So then I said I'm the best at what I do,
Right.
so I'm gonna call it, Retro Kings,
There we go.
and that's how the name came about.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it was one of those where I just had to flip the switch from freshness over to Retro Kings, and it wasn't easy, you know, um, and then just you know kind of continue with it.
Rocking with it. Rocking
Yep,
with it.
and then
Staying with it.
and staying
Staying
with it.
down.
Yeah,
Okay.
believing. That's the thing. Like once you come up, once you have that name, you have to believe in it. You have to believe in that name, and just got to rock with it. And here we are. So
Okay, for sure. So this is crazy that stay with it, stay down. And 2014 doesn't seem like that long ago. Guess it's maybe because of the pandemic, all that craziness. And then we're here now. But we're here. It's
mhm.
2023. And you rocking, you
And not
rolling.
only that, but
Yeah.
we've had recessions.
Yeah.
You got to,
Yeah. Yeah.
we've had all of that. So the beauty about T-shirts, one, they're not too expensive.
No.
Two, you know, the age, you know, the kids that are buying these are not, they're not thinking about a mortgage. They're not thinking, you know, big bills. So a $35 T-shirt, they're like, I can get it. So even through recessions,
Yeah.
we've done pretty good, only because of our product, and
Okay.
that's why I say like I stick to my bread and butter
Yeah.
because it's kept me going this whole time.
Okay.
You know,
For sure, man. I'm glad you stuck to it because here we are now.
yeah,
You made it. Made it through the storms.
that's right,
You
and
standing tall.
that's another part of business. Like
Yeah.
you have to be able to weather the storms.
Right. Let's get into this. What makes Retro Kings unique as a brand? There's like we talk about, there's a lot of different streetwear brands, but everybody does something a little bit different, or some brands try to do the exact same thing.
One thing that I've noticed with my brand, and I've had customers hit me up about it, is
Hmm.
it brings back memories.
Okay. Yeah.
Kind of like East Bay. I
Yeah.
remember wanting that East Bay magazine in the mail because I want to look at the new drops. I want to look at the new clothes. I want to. back then there was no internet, so East Bay was
Yeah.
our internet.
Yeah.
So what my t-shirts do and what I try to do when I design is I want to be able to give whoever the buyer is that feeling
Yeah.
of, going back 20 years ago,
Right.
25 years ago, 30
Mhm.
years ago,
Yeah.
and taking them back to that time and how much they enjoyed it.
That's cool.
So that's really, you know, what my brand is about, is being able to take them back.
Okay. And bring that quality too, 'cause your stuff is quality.
Yeah, and that workmanship, is just part of us doing business.
Yeah.
The design aspect of it is me having to research, me having to really focus, and me having to be creative. If my brand is called Retro Kings, then I want to take them back,
Yeah.
and I want them to feel it when they're wearing it.
That's what I do, like with your pieces that I caught, holiday season.
Yeah,
I feel like it was a treat to myself. Pieces is special, man. Got my son something to Ja. He loves that. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? Stuff like that, it's fly stuff. Shout out to Ja and the new generation, what they doing. You know, he's tapping in with the new generation too, which is really cool. With being the Retro Kings, but putting that unique flavor and quality
right.
into some
I give
stuff
it a
from the new
retro
school.
flavor to it,
Yeah,
just using all the athletes from now.
yeah,
You know,
that's dope. That's dope. I look to, there's a lot of athletes that are coming up in this Antelope Valley, right? You get to see it because your kids play sports.
yeah. Both of my kids play basketball.
Okay, so as they come up in this Antelope Valley, and they kind of seeing the kids, and they kind of seeing the stuff with the clothes and the drops, for them to see it, and maybe they'll be able to partner with you one day, stuff like that. As they get with the NIL deals with high school and college athletes,
Right.
anything is possible.
Yeah, and I mean, we're a full service shop. The majority of our business is for my brand,
Right.
but we do print. We design for others, and
That's
we do
cool.
print for others occasionally. But yeah, I mean, that's a whole different market,
Yeah.
that we haven't even tapped into,
Wow.
because we obviously can't, you know. But yeah, there's so much opportunity out there.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because that's the thing with a lot of people doing different stuff. Like sometimes they want like a unique collector's item. Like right here, you got this crazy. Um, what is this?
Ping pong.
Ping pong table.
Yeah.
So it's like somebody might say, "Hey, we want some creative for this table. We're doing something exclusive." Because now there's so much more with exclusivity. Because people see how the value goes crazy,
Right.
and it could be just something like that. They see that you have something like that. Like, hey, can you help us with some creative for it? Like, what you want to do? We want to do this. Cool. Let me get in my lab. Bam.
And
Because
when it comes down to that too, it comes down to collaborating,
yeah,
because even though I got this ping pong table here, and I enjoy playing ping pong, I'm not an expert at it. But if there's someone that is and wants to create a brand and let that be their niche, then I need that direction from them,
yeah,
so that I can be creative, because I'm creative when it comes down to this, to my brand, to what I know, what I'm about,
yeah,
and even though I enjoy playing ping pong, I'm not an expert at it. So I don't know enough about it to be able to create the way I create for Retro Kings.
okay,
So I do need direction,
it's true.
when it comes down to that.
Okay,
But it's, I let them know ahead of time.
okay,
Um, and it usually works out pretty good. Like, the more direction, the more information they can give me about their niche, the better I'm able to create for them.
for sure.
You
And
know,
yeah, we get into kind of one of last few pages where we get to the kind of the review, the testimonial side, but so much we didn't get to yet. So we want to have Retro Kings back on in the future. To tap in on a lot of the other side of it because there's so much that they do, and they really understand their brand. Like every time we went to a new piece of this, I mean, he really understands it inside and out and back
right?
in. Like,
right.
and that's really cool.
And I mean, that's the important part of design is
Yeah.
you have to do your research, and you got to learn how to do layouts. You got
Yeah.
to, it's not just putting an image on a T-shirt and hoping
No,
that it sells.
it's
So
deeper than that
it's way deeper than that.
for sure. Look forward to getting into, you know, that all the other, pieces of it in the future. But
Right.
just knowing what we know now that you design it, you had so much creative pieces, and then the fact that you were at the top, came down to the bottom, and working your way back up, man, like what a story.
Right. Yeah. And, you just can't give up. I mean, if it's something that you truly love, you just can't give it up that easy.
That's
You
true,
know,
and
you,
that's a
you got to
great
work for it.
right. That's a great lead into our next question. What was the toughest thing that the brand had to overcome to get to where you are now? And what did you learn from that will always help your brand in the future?
Um, I think the toughest for me was, you know, we do a lot of wholesale business now. Um, in the beginning, because my brand was so new, there was a lot of doors being closed. People didn't really know about me. Um, they didn't know what my brand was about. They didn't, so there was a lot of doors, and I'm talking stores. They just didn't want to buy. They didn't want to work with us, and it was just little by little, and
Okay.
and then just having that first store giving us a chance, and then finding out that our stuff sells, and then they place reorders, and then other stores see that they're selling our stuff, so they reach out,
Yeah.
and then so but I think that was one of the biggest ones is always being told no.
Okay.
Um, you know, let me just go buy this other brand that's already known in this
Yeah.
in the industry. We don't know about your brand, and that happened a lot. And it's just you just got to continue.
Yeah.
You got to
Yeah.
continue and keep knocking on them doors, and then eventually someone's gonna work with you,
Right.
and then let it snowball from there.
True. Like
Mm.
people think that I woke up and it was like, oh, look, it's 40 guests on this podcast. Nope, that's not how it went. You had to go through your mountains. Like
Right.
that's
Yeah.
why I love looking at mountains. Like in San Luis Valley, you got the mountains towards Roseman, the mountain towards the Inland Empire, the mountains towards Los Angeles, and then you got the mountain towards Bakersfield.
Hmm.
Like it's all mountains. So the thing is, like it shows like you gotta get over your mountain, like
All
where you're
right.
trying to go. And I just love that, mentality because once you cross that mountain, that's a downhill. But you don't get that on this side. You gotta
Hmm.
go over it.
You gotta go over it. Yeah.
So you gotta have a mindset like it ain't gonna be easy, but you're gonna get through it for sure. Okay. So now we wanna, get into collaborations a little bit. If somebody wants to partner with the Retro Kings, kind of go over ideas, something they want to do, how do they get involved? How do they reach
Uh, on social, at the Retro Kings on Instagram.
you? Okay.
Uh, when it comes down to that, I'm very selective, only because I've had my fair share of,
Yeah.
partnering, with people and things just don't work out.
Right.
Doesn't mean I won't do it. It just has to be done correctly, and it has
Okay.
to be done right, and it has to be done legally.
All right.
Um, but yeah, I mean, we're here, so
Okay.
uh, and a lot of times too, like you know, I have clients use me as a designer.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
use
Yeah.
me as your designer,
Even from that piece
and then
perspective, yeah.
just take it from there.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I'm open to it. I'm super selective.
Okay.
You know.
Right. And what does Retro Kings do to have fun as a brand? A lot of companies, brands, businesses, it's like go to work, come home, go home. It's no fun. It's no company dinners, no lunch. It's no. It's like, are you working? If you're not working, that's it.
Yeah.
But what do you guys do to have fun as a brand?
Uh, we're not here too long. You know,
Yeah.
we all got day jobs, so when we do come in here, it's not like a full time gig, right? But
Right.
you know, every now and then, like we'll just excuse me, we'll just grab dinner.
Okay.
Um, you know, we do go out for for the holidays. We'll go have a nice dinner. But it's just we really don't have a whole lot of time us here together.
Yeah.
You know, when we come in here, it's really go time. You know, we only because we're it's time sensitive.
For sure.
Yeah,
For sure. So hey, just the fact that you still kind of bring everybody in together for those special moments, working together. Cause I see you guys talking and dinner and
yeah,
different
and you know,
stuff.
you
It's
come in here,
cool.
it's not always all about business. I mean, we could sit here and just talk about whatever, whatever happened over the weekend, or whatever's happening now. Um, it's just it's a laid back environment for sure.
Yeah, I love about coming in here because I kind of see what's so special about what you're doing. It's kind of like, give me goosebumps a little bit because I think like, man, as you keep building, is crazy. Like, kind of this is location over here. We're gonna roll over here, and it's like, dang, you
Right.
built this all up. Yes, I
And the thing
did.
is, like, if if you would have seen it from the beginning, then you really would be getting goosebumps because it was not this. This got built because we built it. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we were working from home. She was working in the garage. He was working in the garage.
Wow.
Going from the garage to one of my bedrooms.
So
You know.
they stay down with you.
Yeah. And it was just when it was time to make that move. We made the move.
So another thing is kind of when you building out your team, how did these ideas to work with them come about? Like, did you know them before this all started, and
Hmm.
then kind of tell them about it? They wanted to be involved. Like, how did that all come
That's
together?
exactly how it happened. Like
Okay.
I've known them for quite some time now. So when I decided, I was obviously already doing it, but when I decided to buy my first machine, I saw that it took time to be in front of that machine printing, just like how she's doing now.
Yeah.
Uh, so it took time away from what I'm great at, which is design.
Yeah.
That's where she came on board.
Okay.
You know, she came on board, and then she was printing, and then she'd have to go do that over there. So now it's like half the time printing, half the time over there. So then we said, okay, let's bring someone else in to do that so that you're able to focus on the printing, you know. So and that's how it is. Like little by little, you
Yeah.
just kind of fill in spots,
For sure.
with the right people, and then you just get to work.
For sure, man. So I'm glad you actually have a team because it's like all this stuff going on. Like we right here, but as you see in the video, like Eve, right?
Yeah,
So Eve taking care of all the business on that side, and then you have everything going on over there. So it's just cool to see everything in action. Like nothing stops.
right,
So we're gonna get to the testimonial part. We'll just get the short answer right now. And when we do the next one, we get the long answer. You a
all
little
right,
pressed for time. That's cool.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. What did you enjoy about being on the Brands Experts podcast?
Uh, I'll tell you, man. I really don't do stuff like this.
Okay.
I like to stay in the back, but I know as my brand grows, I have to share my knowledge,
Yeah.
and I have to be out there more. So when you approach me, I said, all right, let's rock and roll, let's do it. Um, and I think it's just you know the time we're in right now. It's
Yeah.
it's what people want. So we got to give it to them.
It's the best marketing opportunity that ever existed. Listening to the Social Proof podcast, shout out to them. Because here's the thing: people are 90% more likely to buy companies they know and trust. So they can sit down with you like we sit on the couch watching the game, and it's like just seeing you a real person, genuine. And then now they trust you, like they see your products, your creative. So now they like, oh, this is real. He actually has a print shop. Let me make my order. Because you know, with the internet, you never know. Somebody could be
Right.
in the middle of a third world country sending you all your, like taking all your pictures, making it like it's you.
Right. And that's happened. You know,
Yeah.
we've seen it. We've seen it happen
Hmm.
plenty of times.
Yeah, it happens for real.
So yeah, I mean, I know I need to do this more often.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I've been asked plenty of times, and I've always came up with an excuse. So yeah, I mean, I know I have to do it.
Right,
You
man.
know?
And so we're glad he on the Brands Experts podcast, man, because it's an expert right here. Trust me with it. When it comes to the creative and the different drops, like, and hey, we glad we get to be a part of one. Like what? Like rumors, the exclusive, like it's us.
Yeah.
So just to kind of be a part of it, where expert we know that designed it, it's so special, man. So to be a part of the family, like again with stuff like this, we love it. Okay. Would you recommend other brand experts get on the Brands Experts podcast?
Oh yeah. There's you know, this you got to keep you got to keep doing it.
Okay.
Um, there's plenty of people out there,
Okay.
plenty of experts out there.
Okay.
You know, and
Yeah,
yeah, you just gotta tap in and make sure you know, make sure you get them on board.
for sure. All right. Will you be getting back on the Brands Experts podcast?
Yeah, no
Okay.
doubt.
For sure. So we got Ness like he said it. Y'all heard him. Is there any brand experts that you would recommend coming on the Brands Experts podcast?
Yeah, I mean there is. I just top of my head right now, and I told you
What's your
before the show, man. You know,
what's your wife?
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
You're on you.
I'm hungry right now, man.
Okay.
But um, but yeah, you know, someone like my wife,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. If we
She
could
opened
talk
her.
about what she's doing a little bit, because they just like his wife, what does she do? So we can get a little kind of preview about what she has going on.
Yeah, she opened a marketplace, you know, across the way from where I'm at. She houses over 90 vendors, all creative people that you know they create, they make different things, you know, and she's giving them an opportunity to be in a store and to be able to sell their products in there.
Right.
So,
Okay.
which is you know the first of its kind out here. Um, and yeah, she's coming up on a year now. That's
Wow.
since she opened.
She gonna do a celebration for that?
Yeah, yeah, she's setting that up.
Okay. Looking forward to that. So, shout out to Pretty Little Poppy. Look forward to that interview. And yeah, for sure. And let's see. We can kind of ride out like this. First, we'll get into just let everybody know if they're kind of just getting in late on the interview and kind of want to know where to reach you. If they want to connect with you, if you want to purchase, kind of where do they reach you? How do they go about that?
On social, mainly on Instagram at the Retro Kings website. You know, www.theretrokings.com, and we're here on the Boulevard. You
Okay.
know, so if you know if you guys are ever you know in the area, just holler at us, and then you know we'll let you guys check out the shop.
All right. Private showing, man. That's what's up. Exclusive for sure. Okay. And if there's anything that you would tell, somebody that's having a hard time with their brand or having a hard time getting started, what was that, coming from an expert's perspective that made it through almost to a 10 years. So we know you've been through some ups and downs and everything else. What would you tell them to help them keep going?
If you truly love it, you know, just don't quit.
Okay.
Uh, a door is going to open at some point, you know, and you just got to make sure you're ready.
Okay.
But yeah, never quit.
Never quit.
Yeah.
Okay. So hey, words of wisdom from Ness, Retro Kings. We're in the shop right now. It's crazy, next level. And yeah, just stay solid, stay focused on what you're doing. Incredible things can and will happen. And yeah, just be an expert in everything you do. Brands Experts Podcast. Ness, Retro Kings. Ride
Yes.
out. Rumors on the way too. Episode with rumors is on wait, gotta do it right. Episode with rumors is coming too. So the part two, Retro Kings. Episode with rumors. Yeah, you see it. We playing out here? Nope. No, we're not playing. St. Patrick's, that green, my favorite color too. Growth, you know how that go. Yeah, but it's
You know what's crazy? You said Next Level, and Next Level was one of my brands when I first started too.
that's crazy.
That
For real?
I came up with that Next Level brand. Like you know how this
Yeah,
hoodie is, Next Level brand.
that was
Like I
you.
was Next Level before this Next Level.
So do you know the people behind this?
No,
Okay.
I just never, I never trademarked the name. I never did anything.
Yeah.
I just
You
thought of
just
the name and we did
right
some T-shirts and everything, but
for sure. That's
we
crazy.
just let it be.
See the information. Anything's possible. Ride out. For checking out this episode of the Brands Experts Podcast. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you check out all our socials like Instagram. Make sure you check out our website, and make sure you check out our VIP, brandsexpertspodcast.com. Exclusive VIP stuff, interviews, exactly how to make money, exactly how to partner with great brands. These are things you need to know, right? You got to remember, if you want to get to where you need to go, you need to pay for that, right? That's how you're paying for that value that you need. So make sure you go over there, check that out. And yeah, we're here for you. Brands Experts Podcast. Let's go.